Good.
Hey man, I'm pumped. I'm ready to go.
How was the creative process for the album? How long did it take to put the material together?
Not long really, because most of that was recorded during COVID, when it shut down. So churning out several songs a week, cherry picking. It took longer to mix it because basically like 3 or 4 years of just
Sure.
tinkering with songs. Yeah,
And Atomic Drop. You're a wrestling fan.
absolutely.
How did you combine the two together?
um, Basically, I wasn't comfortable writing lyrics because I never done it before. I was like, know a lot about wrestling, so I'll just write about that. And now I'm starting to. Now I can actually write about. Yeah, it was mainly just to get me actually writing.
So, take me to your wrestling background. What's your favorite catchphrase in wrestling?
Um, and I don't know. It's like I dig Macho Man, so anything Macho Man,
Heck yeah.
I dig it.
I was a huge Macho Man fan. Then when The Rock came out, I used to I could have the worst day at work and come home and just watch wrestling just to hear his promo, and it made my day.
Yeah,
Just to hear him talk shit.
dude, like I was probably like I was definitely a teenager. I started getting big, 7, 98 around there. So it's like you could not escape kind of rock. Now look at him.
I wanted to ask you about one of my favorite tracks, "Stand Your Ground." How did that one come to you?
um, so I got home from work one day and I actually got home early. I didn't have to run errands after, and like I'm just in the shower and the riff kind of like going in my head. So kind of like that old school like what's the Ozzy album talks about Jakey Lee.
Oh, what?
Jakey Lee, like, guitar player on
Oh, Ultimate Sin.
Ultimate Sin. Yeah, yeah. So it's like I got that like Ultimate Syndrome head,
Mm,
just working on the riff. And I'm like, all right, I can do some kind of cheesy pop 80s lyrics. I just kind of picture Ric Flair in the airport. Like
man,
that like that's it's like he's a champ and he's got to protect his position. But kind of like you can apply the lyric kind of anywhere.
sure. I wanted to ask you as well if you could speak on the album artwork and the arts that was involved.
Yeah, I don't even know his real name. He's on Instagram as Martyr of Decay. So like I've got a bunch of his but like he'll like, hey, I got this. That's cool. How much does it cost? you know, that's
Wow.
really it. Like that looks cool. I could use that.
Yeah.
The
And
only the only piece I've actually commissioned um first album that I
oh,
did.
okay.
It's like reaching for a brass whatever.
Mm.
Like I can't even remember the guy's name from Russia. It does like oil painting. It's all like a
Well, take me back to in time and tell me how this all started for you. At what age did you begin?
um yeah, I didn't really start playing guitar until I was 15 or 17. I can kind of pick up instruments as instruments.
You could a lot of that cut out on me, my friend.
I'm sorry. See, so I started when I was like 16 or 17, and I've always been able to just pick up instruments and play them.
Huh.
So, like, like I had a band like 20 years ago that were kind of regional, but then we're like, we need to make money. Like this isn't working, so we got real jobs, and now it's like I had a band going around 2020. We were getting ready to play our first shows, and COVID shut everything down. Just like, all right, man, like I need to do something to
Yeah.
release my creativity. So I was like, I'll just do it on my own. I don't have to compromise with anybody, and I whatever I want.
Very good. And when you were upon completion of this one, did you have material that was left over that will be on a forthcoming album?
Like I have a vault of music. Like I've got 4 or 5 albums of material. Um, and it's kind of tricky because it's like you don't want to just throw albums and then it stops. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like people are like, all right, this guy's just putting music out there and who cares. So like next year, I'm gonna be a little more organized. Like I'm gonna be dropping singles every 6 to 8 weeks, followed by an EP or an album. Just because I mean, it's like you look at the world now. It's like we could all be dead in a couple years. So it's
Sure.
like
Yeah,
got to get this stuff out there, man.
it has been crazy. Even the past couple weeks have been absolutely crazy. So,
Yeah, yeah.
I wanted to ask you as well, along your musical journey, what do you feel has been the best advice that has been given to you along the way?
um, I don't even know if it was really advice at the time. I didn't see it as advice. I saw it as an insult. But now that I've got a fully developed, you know, frontal cortex and mature, it's like this guy basically came in playing a show, we're playing a gig. He gets on stage with his band. He's just like pointing because you know how crowds are at shows. It's mostly all bands. He's like, none of you are going to make it. I was just like, damn, like messed up. But come back, it's like he's kind of right. Like it's like sports. You look at the NBA. That's the top 1% of the 1%.
Right.
And I think the same applies to music. At least now it's easier to get your music out there. So it's like cool, man. It's like you got a few hundred people. People in Sweden are like listening to my music. Like that would not have been possible, 20 years ago.
Sure. Because, like even back in my day, the way of communicating to other people in the genres and stuff where we did tape trading, you know, hey, check us out, man. Check us out. And oh yeah, you check this one out, and it just went back and forth. And that's how you gotta be, your beat on what was going on.
Yeah, now it's like you can go on YouTube
Yeah.
and like most of the bands that I listen to now I've found on YouTube. Like that new wave of old school thrash metal channel. Like I'm just on that all the time finding bands.
You as well. Um, what is the best way to get a physical copy of this album and any merchandise that you have?
All right, so let's see. Bandcamp, uh, what is it called? It's Atomic Drop One at Bandcamp or something like that. Like you can look up Atomic Drop on Bandcamp and it'll come up. But I don't have physical copies of the the last this album and the last one, Steam and Cheeks. Just because it's like I'm happy breaking even, you know what I mean? But I'm not gonna drop $300 and to get some CDs made and sell like 10 of them.
Right, right.
Like I pretty much just hand them out to people now. I'm just like somebody orders a shirt, it's like you're getting 2 or 3 CDs with it, you know. Got to clear that inventory out.
And speaking of clearing the inventory out, are there any thoughts of going to the road?
Uh, no, mainly because like I'm a truck driver, so I'm working 70 hours a week every week, and maybe down the road when I'm ancient and winding down, but right now I'm just stacking cash, man. I'm saving up for retirement and stuff.
And I wanted to ask you, with your experience in the music industry, I wanted to ask you if you could give any advice to a new artist that is up and coming. What advice would you give them?
Right. So we're assuming this is like a younger person, like, like early 20s or something like that.
Yeah,
Um,
just trying to get their foot in the door.
uh, well, I guess the main thing is just to actually go to shows and talk to people. Like, like if you're not involved with your community, like nobody's gonna care about you. um, like that's one thing. And then of course, I would say treat it as a hobby that you love so that you're not just like ride or die on this thing, like get a good job, make money, buy a house, set yourself up for the future because I mean it takes years to even really gain any ground in music. Like it could be 5, 6, 10 years before anything really pops. So what are you gonna do in that time? Just
Right.
eat ramen, play trash gear, just make money. Go make money, save money, and allocate some of what you save towards your hobby that you love, which is music.
And our music knowledge goes back quite a bit. Um, I wanted to ask you, what is your take on the new current trend of AI bands and AI artists?
I I like it when it's used in a comedic sense. Like a buddy of mine, my best friend, he'll make songs for our other friend who's a realtor. And it's like it's funny. But to actually profit off of it, it's just kind of like, like go learn how to do it yourself. You
Yeah, I just in the last year I interviewed my first total AI band. There's 5 supercomputers that created not only their own image but their own music and actually developed it from head to toe lyrically. And it was one of the strangest things I've ever experienced
know?
in my time of interviewing because the guy who put this guy had programmed 200 years of music into these supercomputers to have them come up with this stuff. And he goes to me, he goes, "Hey Bob, you want to interview one of the band members?" I'm like, "I'll tell you what, I'll interview one of your band members when their old lady takes him for half his money and he's upset. Bob, we'll talk." And so that, what am I going to talk about with a computer,
Yeah, it's all trained. I appreciate the effort that goes into developing that. Like that takes some brains and time. Like I can see AI helping a lot in post, like mixing, mastering, making things easier and faster. Like I'm all about that. But as far as like creating original content, like
I'll tell
we'll
you,
see.
musically, the album was not the greatest musical album I ever heard in the metal genre, but the lyrics were some of the most catchy lyrics I'd ever experienced. These computers knew how to write the catchiest choruses and stuff like that, but then again, the lyrics had like zero emotion to them as well.
So it's like you basically have a thesaurus in a dictionary writing lyrics, which
Yeah.
is cool. Like I mean, I go like I'll have an idea for lyrics, and then I'll be thinking to myself, okay, which word can I change to make it sound cool? I'll dig through a thesaurus, you know.
Sure.
I'll replace this word with that, and I guess they've got a program doing that for them. Yeah,
And we touched on the fact that this will be a studioed effort, at least for now. And but I wanted to ask you, in having this material together, is the plan to have like a release yearly and then come up with singles as each album approaches?
kind of. Yeah, like because I was dropping like an album every 6 months, which is probably a little too much. I think it probably does make more sense to, have singles and then drop the big album. And also, like next year, I'm gonna go back and like re-release things that I did not mix and master very well. That so you can hear them. You'll be able to hear them with better fidelity, sound fidelity.
Well, I wanted to thank you, my friend, for taking time to speak with me. It's been an absolute pleasure speaking with you.
Dude, I appreciate you reaching out. Like, just it's cool knowing that there's people out there listening, and like that's the main thing.
Absolutely, my friend. I thoroughly enjoyed the album, and I loved it because of the originality of it all. It's something that I hadn't heard in a while, and I love to hear someone come up with something original that doesn't have a cookie cutter sound. And you definitely
Yeah,
provide
because
sound.
you look at people's influences, man, and it's like it seems like every thrash band that's coming out that's new just wants to be Power Trip. Like like Power Trip's great. I love Power Trip, but if I want Power Trip, I'm gonna go listen to them. Like I want to hear what would happen if Sebastian Bach did thrash. That's
Right.
that's what that's what my head's thinking. Like I want to hear what David Coverdale would do.
Absolutely. Well, thank you again, my friend, for taking time to speak with me. I hope you have a great rest of your evening, my friend.
Thanks again, and happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy the holidays, my friend.
We'll do. Take care.
Cheers.